Hello everyone, welcome to this evening's festivities. Party Monday. Alright, well, hey Rocket!
Hey.
I was thinking we'll paint this guy today. Thinking we will paint him. But I don't really have any clear idea how to go about him, so let's think about the whole piece. So this guy's a blood dragon. Do we go red armor with a black cloak? Let's try for shiny red. Let's try for shiny red armor. Don't think I've done that. Hey Paul. Shiny red. Black red, maybe? Maybe I'll use this black red. Rojo Negro. And we'll go with a little bit of purple. Blue, maybe? And a little bit of this. And a little bit of Monica in my life. A little bit of Jessica by my side. Alright, we'll zoom in a smidge. Okay. So the light source, this guy is basically front on to the light source, so we're going to be able to treat this guy pretty normal. So it's been a productive couple of days on the project. I have resolved a number of issues that were nagging away. I made some really good headway with the actual base. And I now feel like everything's starting to come together, and we'll be able to start to see how the final piece is going to look, and we'll probably have a nice little everyone joins together tonight. Maybe, I may not. The wiring of the LEDs I resolved, sort of, from the perspective that it's working, and that's about it. Did I paint? I don't think I've painted too many off screen. I've only painted 2. No, 3 off screen. And the base. So I guess I've painted a fair bit off screen. whatever you decide to push forward, Wampa, that's okay by me, because chaos is a ladder. Chaos is a ladder. And I'm here for it. Hopefully Andy will be joining us today, because I am a little bit excited to talk about the Golden Demon competition that was recently held. Run and won, in fact, by the extremely capable Chris Clayton, who probably is not all that well known to the majority of the newer generation of painters, I wouldn't have thought. But he's extremely well known to those who've been around for a while. So yeah, we'll see if Andy joins us, and if he doesn't, well, I'll talk about it. Hey Hugo, you alright, buddy? Yeah, good dad. Good mate. What's the matter? Is your ball stuck? Hey? What's going on? Is it your ball? There it is. Get it out. Get it out. Hey, it's closing. It's closing. Doofus. Alright, let's move into a little bit of this colour. So this is burnt red. Quite a nice colour. So yesterday was grand final day in the rugby league. Rocket and I watched both games, the NRL and the NRLW. And I really enjoyed the NRLW game. More in fact than I enjoyed the men's final, which was a bit of a letdown really. Just one team was just significantly better. It's okay, that happens sometimes, but you don't expect to see it in a grand final normally. Blood Dragons. I am now going to talk about the vampire counts from Warhammer in the olden days. See, Warhammer, the old world, is probably the most invested I've been in a game and in a lore I enjoyed the lore in Guild Ball, I enjoyed the lore in War Machine, but I wasn't obsessively reading the books or anything like that like I was with Warhammer. And in particular, the vampires were my first real army that I played in Warhammer. I played a few other ones, but when I first started working for Games Workshop, I was paired with a magnificent store manager. His name was Troy, who was an exceptional painter, and we'd worked on a little project sort of together, which was he had painted an Empire army from Avaland, which is yellow and black, really strong colour palette, and I decided to do an undead version of them. I was actually interviewed in White Dwarf for my army, as a matter of fact. And so the undead hordes were really my first genuine army that I played. After I finished my undead army, I then moved into Chaos Army, which was actually 10,000 points, which back in the day was just ridiculous. The amount of money I spent on that fucking army, I'll tell you what, it's quite outrageous on reflection. But yeah, so the vampires were really probably my first love, and then when I moved over to War Machine, I of course gravitated for the vampires as well.
Here you go. Excuse me.
Hey Rocket! You gotta wave next time you walk past. What are you doing?
I'm trying to give you bunny ears.
So yeah, back in that era, there was a number of vampire count clans, races, families. So the first was the original, the Von Carsteins, which are vampires as we know them from
Oh, great.
Dracula.
I thought it was
Orcs. You know, they're probably the only army I never did really play, and I genuinely regret it. Well, I don't regret it, but there was just never the situation came around when I was able to put them together, because I'd always had other army projects on the go. So yeah, the Von Carsteins were the traditional. You got to wave, Rocket. Get your head. Hey, good one. Hello, Space Toy. So yeah, Von Carsteins. I initially was pretty anti Von Carstein. I was like, these guys suck. They're boring. They're a boring army. No one wants to play the traditional generic vampire guys. They suck. So I of course started with Blood Dragons, which were the smashy hitty version of vampires. Martial prowess. Oh, awesome, mate. You will have a fantastic, incredible, wonderful experience, and I look forward to hearing all about it when you return. Don't feel like you have to go and enter anything, mate. I know you felt pressured, but in the past, but don't feel like you have to do that, mate. You can just go and watch and observe, and it will be the most valuable experience you've had. Take it from someone who has been and competed and did absolutely bupkis with my competing. Do I know what building you need to go to at Monty? Yeah, there's one giant building. It's the castle in the middle of the centre square. It's called the Castello or whatever it is. Can't miss it.
How did he get out?
Did you close the door?
I closed it. Maybe I only closed the ingress.
Okay, Mini Matster. Mate, Italy for a long weekend. Glorious, wonderful. You'll have an amazing time. I absolutely guarantee you
Come on.
it will be a wonderful experience.
I see what I've done. I see what I did. Come on. Come in.
Yep. Good plan. Good plan.
You're done now. No more. You're being silly. What's that? What is this? What is that?
My
Paper?
time with the Blood Dragons was pretty boring. I didn't have any really exciting list builds or anything like that. And it was quite early on in my actual tournament playing career. But I came back. Oh mate, I'm working on a pretty massive diorama. Have I got a picture of it? Somewhere. That is not the picture. Let me get the picture of it. Boom, boom. There we go. It's not too bad getting to Monty. It's easier than you'd think, really. So I wouldn't consider myself a bad driver.
It's only if you drive though. You
Yep.
have to drive.
But yeah, we drove from Arezzo, which is a small town about an hour south of Florence, and just hired a car from Arezzo and drove up. It's about 20 minutes to get to Monty, and it's absolutely beautiful. Beautiful drive. Parking is free, yes. There's plenty of parks all the way around the town. I don't know where you're staying. If you can stay in the city, if you can, Airbnb in the city. If you can't, there's plenty of chalets and stuff around that you'll be able to get a place at. But staying in the city will really improve your experience. Just ask Rocket. Yeah, that's fine. The first time I went, that was where we stayed as well, in that sort of vicinity, and it was really, really fine. Getting to and from the event, no trouble at all. There's not a lot of Uber. That's all. There's not really an awful lot to do in the town other than the model show. And by not a lot, I mean there's nothing. There is nothing to do. You'll get about an hour's worth of walking around, checking out cool old buildings. There's a really cool aqueduct. And then there's a cool town hall, merchants hall I think it's called. Is it Rocket?
I like the city hall, but the merchants hall is
Yeah, the Mercante de Loggia. Oh mate, what you'll want to do if you can, and you'll probably need to tuck onto someone who is already going. If you can, just introduce yourself to someone and find a way. There's a restaurant called Lebindi, Lebindi, and it's just down one end. It is a degustation menu, and it is astonishing. Yeah, Bindi. Try and get in there. There's a really nice meat restaurant down the bottom end of the town. There's an awesome pizza shop right near the main hall. They do a roast pig that they roast on the spit out the front of the the front of the castle, and you can just go out and pay your €3 whatever it is to get yourself a roast pork sanger. Pretty great. Yeah, if you have any questions, mate, feel free to ask. I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but I've been twice and can probably answer most of your questions. I'll also definitely say don't be nervous. Everyone there is awesome. It's really straightforward once you get there. Just follow the people. There's nothing else happening in the town. Ever. Ever. Except for the show. They probably jack up their prices by about 100% for that weekend, and it's still so cheap. It can happen, yeah. So Christoph talked about it a little bit on the Kingdom Death stream that we did together. They don't generally boot people into Masters unless you're a possibility of winning a medal. They'll usually leave you where you are. So if I was to hazard a guess, mate, I would say you will not get booted. Whomever that person was, and I trust they are a kind and gentle soul, may or may not have been to Monty before. And it's fucking stupid how high the quality is. Of course, I haven't seen your models in the flesh, so they might be better than I think. This guy is probably going to be the only red armoured figure on the piece. He will be a clear contrast to the rest of the piece, which is cool colours mostly. That realisation will be hit home very, very strongly for you. As it was for me the first time that I went. Very, very, very strongly. But it's a good thing. I walked away from the weekend with aspirational goals and motivation like I have not had. And I came back and did not a lot for a few months. Yeah. I'll just reiterate, don't go there with any hope that you'll get a medal. I went in there the first year thinking, oh, surely I've got to be a chance of maybe sneaking a bronze. I was very far from bronze. Very, very far. Good. Anyway, back to the vampire counts. The Von Carsteins ended up being my favourite of the vampire families. G'day, Jan. What do we got? We got 1, 2, 3, 4-ish. 4-ish to get some work done before we can start refining and finishing things. It's 4 after this one. What's Twitchcon? Yeah, I've got no idea what's TwitchCon. Cool. Who are you going to meet and or greet? Awesome. Surprised I didn't get an invite. Yeah, I haven't tried to go for partner. Just a title, really. I think. I'm sure there's some other benefits, but doesn't really feel like a massive loss. Yeah, I don't want it to be a job, mate. It was not. No, it was in association with the Discord channel, or the Discord group rather. Yeah, they were really good experience. It was good. Yeah, it was very good. G'day, Yab. Ah, beautiful. I got one from there as well, actually. Sitting just behind me. I am pretty keen to give that one a crack, actually. So I think we'll go for a contrast paint glaze over the top of this of the dark red, the really dark one. My favourite red. Yes, I'll tell them. I'm going to screenshot that right now and send it to Jimbo. Yes. It's been a wonderful partnership, Big Deno and Stonebeard. This is indeed a Carl Rudick sculpt, yes. My favourite red is... well, there's a colour by Scale 75 called Antares Red, which I think is the red to end all reds. But I'm not using it on this one. I'm using Deep Red from AK. It's working really well so far. Alright, I'm just going to quickly finish my little vampire count story. So, the reason I talked about this is this diorama is meant to be all a bit of an homage to those vampire courts. There's, in theory, there is vampires from all of the main houses, with the possible exception of the von Carsteins. Because there isn't really a good von Carstein version from Carol. He's got Blood Dragons, Strigoi and Necrarchs. And of course Valamians, but no von Carsteins. So it's a little homage to that time in my life when I was a Vampire Counts player. I played an army that I designed that managed to do reasonably well in composition scoring, which was a thing back then. And it was really fun to play. It was not that fun to play against. It was just a big block of Graveguard, a big block of skeletons on either flank, and it was just a inexorable march across the tabletop. Do you like that word, Rocket?
Huh?
She liked that word, she said. Alright, now we'll just move into a straight deep red. See how this looks. We may have Buccarino joining. Yeah, this deep red from AK is pretty good. So the next question then becomes, what do I highlight this with if I want it to look glossy and glinty? I am indeed, mate. Looks like this. Will hopefully look a little bit better than that. When it's all finished. It's a few things for rocks. It's actual rocks. It's foam. It's putty. And it's also filler, which I've been using quite a lot recently. And I'm enjoying. Just filler, which I then shape with a wet brush. Press rocks into. Yeah, I saw the one you were working on with Eldarian and the little panther. Yeah. The one with the green cover with the blood dragons charging. Depends on if Bucks comes on, mate. If Bucksy's on, then we'll probably do some feedback, but it's not your dwarf, is it?
Did you factor in daylight savings?
Yeah. G'day, Broadside. of painting today. Reckon I've done about 8 hours. Maybe that's a little overs, but it's been a lot. Alright. The decision now. Do I go with a warm colour for the highlights, a cold colour, or warm and cold depending on the side of the lighting? I know the answer to the question. The question is, can I be bothered? Hey Rocket!
Hey, Becky.
Hey mate! Hmm?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Hey Rocket!
Hey.
Alright, I think I will go with a cold and warm lighting of some description. So, we might go with light orange. I think I've still got a photo. I have indeed seen the Slayer Sword winner. I've still got a photo on my Facebook of the Vampire Count's army that I painted actually. Yeah, I was gonna wait for young Andrew to join us and talk about the Slayer Sword winner then. If he joins us, indeed. If he doesn't, well, we'll just have to put up with my ramblings. Not you. I'm sure you're a very competent Andrew. You are not the Andrew to which I was referring. Good of you to acknowledge that, mate. Strong possibility he is cooler than me. Painted by the name of Moses Yao. Won the master level entry. It was quite good. Quite good. We had some conjecture. There was 4 entries that we really liked. All 4 of them had pros and cons, and in the end we went with the one that made us go wow, which was Moses. There was one that was possibly technically better in terms of the execution across the whole model, but maybe not quite as wow. And that's probably the thing that I look for when I am judging, is something that makes me go wow. There's other things, and a wow piece won't beat a piece that is technically painted better. As a general rule. But if you've got a choice between 2, and one is technically proficient, and the other one's reasonably technically proficient, but also makes you go, woo, that's cool, I think the second one is the one that should win. So stay stuck. None yet. Any thoughts? Open to suggestions. The obvious choice, I think, would probably just be sticking with black. Very evil black.
Mate,
Oh,
I have it.
Andrew.
How are ya?
I'm well, buddy. How's your evening going?
Oh, it's hectic, as all hell, pal. But we're here, and we're going to test a few things, if that's all right with you.
It's always good with me, buddy.
How's my audio, by the way? Is it sounding a lot crisper?
It's certainly crisper, yep.
That's good. All right. Now, let's just do this, and this should be all done for you. How about this, pal?
Hang on, I'm coming to have a look. Wow. You've done outstanding, but you haven't really helped me out here, bro. But because now, hang on, all right, hang on. I gotta.
You should be able to just split screen this in now,
Yeah,
right?
I can, yeah. But hang on, Jeepers, you could have given me some warning about this fucking thing. Seriously.
Oh, by the way,
turn off this image mask.
look at this. Look at this, Trent. What's this right here? Look, my camera's shit. It's not going to be the best. But people can get a bit of an idea about what your dear friend Buxy's having a bit of a whiv on. You know?
All right. Well, this'll do for the moment.
Yeah.
Because Jeepers, you've given me very fucking little preparation to fix this shit.
This is how it works, isn't it? You say you just come in and get it done. There we go. How are you, mate?
I'm well, buddy. How's the new rig going?
Well, the new rig is delayed slightly. So right now, my old rig has just had has some upgrades in the interim. So it's a bit of the plastic fantastic, some enhancements, you know.
Well, it's looking good, mate.
Yeah. Did I have a bit of a trim as well? Getting ready for a first time stream? No, I had a bit of a trim last week. I can't remember why. Oh, it was new studio, new me. Like I look like a dishevelled hag by the end. Like I look like a forest man at the end of last weekend after getting all of these rooms sorted. And then it was just it was time to clean it up a little bit. I think appearance is important, so...
I don't. Go on, Rocket. She's going to give me a spray.
About what?
Andrew just said, I think appearance is important. And I said, I don't. And you say, yeah, no shit, mate.
What?
Don't worry.
Are you saying I'm ugly?
No, you're saying I'm ugly.
What?
Jeepers.
Yeah, just leave me alone, man.
Just leave me alone.
You're just getting bullied on every angle here, mate.
I'm getting smashed.
You are. But yeah, so we're going to be able to... I mean, how do you think we'll run it?
What, this?
Maybe half-half. Yeah, like half-half or...
Yeah, I reckon I'll be able to split the screen down the middle, and go for like a half. So you'll be able to have yours on screen and mine on screen.
Yeah.
You'll just need to
and
work.
I think
in
I
this.
need to get a much better camera.
Well, I don't know what level of quality Discord's pulling in.
Yeah, true. Well, no, I just can't get it to zoom.
Yeah.
Anyway, to the people at home, this is what I painted this week. And a little bit of the week before. You can't really see it. You can see a silhouette of it, so that's great. But this was a present from our dear friend, Stonebeard G, for his birthday. This is Granite Stonebeard. He's an ancient member of the clan. And some say that if certain clan warriors of the clan Stonebeard are hard pressed and under enormous duress, the Granite Stonebeard will imbue them with the courage and tenacity needed to get the job done. Sometimes even almost possessing them like an avatar. How do you like this rambling Trent that I'm just whipping up?
Look, mate. If you had said his name was Clansman Deno, I would have been all about it.
So we just can't get a good zoomie, can we? Let's see if we can move it around a little.
As someone who's experimented with a number of cameras, setups, and so on,
yeah, it takes a hot minute, doesn't it, to get to what you like?
My setup has relatively expensive equipment attached to it to allow it to be good quality. And for miniatures, a webcam is usually not going to get you all the way. Get you some of the way.
Well, that's what I had thought, and so I figured I bought a new webcam regardless. So I have two webcams, but I bought a new one. The new one will just take the place of the old one, and then I'll just buy a proper cam to be able to. Thank you. Yeah.
Did you get a tea?
What's a man without his tea?
Hi, Job.
Friend says g'day. You can speak. He can hear you now. You can just speak. You don't have to move to it. You can just speak and it'll pick you up.
Not the whole room.
Yep.
Well, if you yeah. So yeah.
Hi.
Hey, Yana.
How you going?
I'm living the dream.
Do you want to put your head on camera?
No.
Oh, you're just like Rocket. We're going to have Hey Yana moments. There's a Hey Rocket moment every time she almost goes on camera.
I have no face and no hair.
You have no face and no hair?
She got
to be going on camera.
She got on camera before Rocket. She waved.
Yeah.
It was a wonderful moment.
Rocket's been warming up to it a little more. Like she occasionally pops it.
Well, she's got to set herself up for her stream.
Yeah, is she going to be streaming Sims?
Are you streaming Sims, Rocket?
One day.
One day, she reckons.
When I'm retired.
Yeah. Alright, see you, mate.
Bye.
So yeah, I probably won't paint too much tonight as I've pretty much finished this guy now.
Cool.
I've sent some photos. How about that?
Sounds good. But you know what we do need to do? We do need to bring up some of the old Golden Demon talks.
Yeah, we sure do. I mean, it's there's plenty to talk about, really. Slayer Sword was, yeah. Look, I didn't see it that entry going off for it. I mean, I haven't had the closest of looks at it. I will say one thing: absolutely stunning water effects, like incredible water effects on it.
Yeah. The standard
probably
was.
haven't seen better ones.
The standard was incredible, right?
Yes, yeah. And I think there was a pretty big movement, right, to go to this Golden Demon. Like, pretty much all of Europe was there, right? Like, a really strong chunk of Europe was there.
Yeah. Hey Al, how are you, champion? And yes, Space Toy, that is indeed the plan. I am going to run through the airbrush afterwards.
All right, so like this is the first steps of the future of the generation saturation.
Generation.
It's pretty good to bring all our friends along for the ride as well.
Might need to bring up our logo now.
Yeah, I think so. I think it needs. Look, it probably needs a little rework, our logo, but it's pretty good. I mean, Ben probably did it in 8 seconds. I mean, is Vaporwave still alive? Is it still a thing? Oh, that could be our logo if you want. Check out these overlays right now. We are the most ghetto stream on Twitch. we have got circles, we've got squares, we've got Inception, we've got faces in faces in faces. Yeah. How sexy is that, Yab? Like, it's pretty sexy, in all honesty. There's a magnitude radiating off the saturation generation logo. Maybe Dano and I need to like do a shoot, and we'll shoot, because what this logo sort of reminds me of in a way is like an 80s wrestling sort of entrance, you know? Can you see it, Trent? Like with the like the pyramid of lights all leading to the top. Like we've got to come from underneath the saturation generation.
I can see it. Yes.
Yeah.
Hello, salad bum. Hello, salad bum. It was definitely a mould. It was definitely an upside down mould, but I do think he may have sculpted with. Because there's resins you can get that can cure pretty quickly, but I don't think they're that clear. So it was more than likely a mould. But how he incorporated the model without fucking himself, I don't know. Colwell did something similar, and he showed me his approach. So I think it's probably it's doable. The point
feels like it's been pinched up almost, right?
Yeah.
Like almost like glass glowing.
The point that Andrew makes though is that irrespective of how it's done, it's executed to perfection. So
yeah, let's get some research going up. Has community put anything up yet in regards to all the results, or
there was a picture floating around which had Aroba and Albert and a few other guys holding trophies. I didn't see Arnow actually, but I wasn't looking for him. So
Diorama was spicy contested. Yeah, all they put up so far is the winner. Alright, give me a sec. Let's chuck that in our voice chatties.
Chatties.
Mate, I am on this mega screen right now, and I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling good about my life right now. I feel like I can operate Keanu Reeves. Call me Tank. Call me Dozer, bro. You can be Tank, I'll be Dozer.
Deal.
Yeah. Get us in there. Alright, I chucked an image of that in. Of the Golden Demon. And then I'll chuck an image of what should have won Golden Demon. Jim's Stonebeard Dwarf. So I managed to catch a little bit of your stream yesterday.
Yeah.
You're going for another play of Kingdom Death soon, mate. You inspired?
Yeah, super inspired. Yeah.
Love it.
It's just a game that you can get a lot of repetition from because it's not really about a story. So I'm playing a game called Oathsworn at the moment, right, which is really incredible story, like probably the best story I've ever played in a board game. But we will not be able to get a second play really that captures the magic of the first.
Yeah, that kills me for buying into board games. That feels like it's a really common thing as well, right? Like you get one real good play and then you sort of know how it goes.
For the narrative games, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Kingdom Death, the narrative, there isn't actually a narrative. It sounds weird, right? But the narrative sort of unfolds through events. There's 100 hunt events in the game, and each one of them just sort of reveals a little bit of a story about the world, and then every time you face a new monster, there's a little story. But it's very, very like, the story, the most in-depth story of the Dragonkin's like 4 pages with a sentence or 2 on each page. It's very, 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 very small amount of narrative, and so the game is not about the story, it's about the exploration and the unveiling of everything. Anyway, where's me mouse? Come here, mouse. Yeah, Albert's entry was the most impressive from what I saw.
So that would have gone into 40k single. I'm getting used to so many things right now. I'm so used to having a microphone on this side of my headset that I pull down when I'm talking and put up when I'm not. So it's going to take a hot minute. If I look like I'm just, having weird and unusual sieges, chat and doing random things and touching random things, that's just because I'm quite challenged sometimes.
When I think about you, I touch myself.
Aroma's open Stormcast bus got silver. That's interesting. Well, I know Darren Latham's entry got open bronze. So, what's that left for?
Well,
Arno was in single monster, was he, or mount or whatever it was? He was in with his Aroma and Arno both had like a mount there as well as a thing.
Yeah, his mount was one that he painted on. He's done some videos for, so that's like a Beastman Shugger thing.
Oh yeah, Aroma's one. It's a Uruk. It's like the Uruk leader, the Gut Ripper leader from the skinny orcs.
Chris Clayton, eh? Chris Clayton.
Just
out of nowhere.
Have not seen. I don't even know if I follow him or see his work. Does he have like social media or a social media presence?
It's interesting. Are you familiar with who he is?
Who is it?
Oh, okay, yeah. So Chris Clayton is he's the guy who sculpted Hush.
Yeah, right.
And he's been around for a long, long time. He's won a couple of Golden Demons, but he just.
Oh, is he the one who's mates with Conrad?
Yeah. And Ben Curry.
Very cool.
And he just sort of floats in and out every now and then. He just like, I'm gonna just drop a fucking bomb.
There's certainly a few who are more than capable of sort of coming out of nowhere, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, I'm a big fan of this red armor. I'm liking this.
Oh, cool.
You're finding your feet a little bit. You have when we had a little hangout in the afternoon, you were like, "Oh, why have I done this? Why am I like this? Why have I done this to myself?"
So
and then I watched the stream.
Yeah.
And you were like, "Fucking hell!" You were feeling it. You were dabbling with the bass, and I was like, "I wonder what he's going to be like today." And it looks like
the bass has come together, mate. We shall redouble our efforts.
Yeah. Very good.
Now I'll show you. The bass has come together, and all of a sudden, I'm in. I see it now. It's all coming together.
Fantastic news. That's what I like to hear.
And I don't know if you saw this, but I posted this little bad boy. Hey, Rocket.
Do you remember the first time you looked at a smart TV?
Yeah.
And your eyes are just like they can't comprehend everything that's going on?
Yeah.
That's me right now in this rig, mate. Like, how do you do this? There are arms reaching, like my desk has become like a friggin' spider just reaching to consume me.
Oh, I just sent you something on...
Oh, so you said the LED's burnt out, yeah? So you fixed that problem?
I fixed the problem.
Oh, that's got to be pretty rewarding.
That was the moment where I was like, oh my god, this is gonna work. The moon. I was like, is this even gonna look any good? It looks so good. It looks so good. You turn the lights off and you can just see the moon shining through the windows. It's unreal.
So we've got two lights here. We've got the moon, and then we've got the red LEDs, yeah?
Yeah, so I don't know if the red LEDs are a goer or not. I think they are. It's supposed to be like a weird magical light.
Yeah. What about punching various holes and random little bits through the brickwork potentially for it to seep through? Could that be done?
Yep.
Just with a pin vise and a little bit of...
G'day, Diddy's Miniatures.
Hey, Diddy. Well done, Diddy, by the way, on your 3. Did you receive 3
Thanks,
finalist pins?
So once I've got this guy a little bit more knocked over, Bucks, we'll put it all together, because I think it's starting to reach a point now where we can see where we're going.
That's what I like to hear. Shamelessly and selfishly, because it brings us one step closer to painting some orcs.
It does indeed.
I'm ready, mate. I'm ready. I hear the whispers. I hear them on the wind.
Yeah.
Bucks, I don't know if he can. I don't know if he's got the stamina. I don't know if he can get and mix it up with the diorama chads of the painting world. But you know, I'm ready, mate. I've been practicing.
I believe in you, mate. So Diddy, I'm going to claim partial credit for your pins, mate, because I provided you some glorious feedback on one of your projects.
I think we were quite brutal on Diddy, weren't you? You towered him up on the Necromunda piece.
Yeah, well, I towel everyone up, mate, but there was a dude in the Kingdom Death hobby Discord just before who posted a picture of his hair, and it was the guy who I said his hair looked like spaghetti bolognese.
Yeah. And he's just got great hair now.
The hair is fucking on point.
Yeah.
And I was just like, if I didn't say your hair looked like spaghetti bolognese, would you be going out of your way to get an improvement? Probably not. And
I was down on that thing we talked about last week, right? Like if you feel you can take pretty strong criticism, it's going to help you grow pretty quickly. So.
Ooh. All right, let's think about this guy's face.
I'm gonna have to buy a new camera tomorrow. I just can't. I can't do anything by halves. Incapable.
Talking about saturation generation. What colour for the cloak here, Buxo?
Alright, you've lent into tons of blue and purple. It's across everything. So this cloak, in all honesty, you're probably not going to like this, but it probably should be black. I mean,
that was my call as well. That was my call.
Yeah,
I called black. So.
In keeping with the theme of what a blood dragon would be, it's a black cloak.
Good. We're on the same page.
Can you give him a flip up just so I can see what his thingos are made out of? His spikes on his back, are they just metal?
Yeah.
So you're going to keep that red, or are you going to change that to something else?
The metal. Yeah, no.
The two prongs, effectively.
Yeah, the prongs will be just normal steel.
Yeah, okay, cool. So I think you're going to have to be pretty subdued with the steel. Like, you can't probably put, like, the ultra shine on them.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's going to steal the focus from the center of the armor in his head. You got to create you can create like a sick triangle. So you can create 2 sick triangles, actually. You can create one with the 2 heads in his head, and you can create another one with the two prongs in the center of the armor. Carol Rudick, you sculpted a really good model, man.
Yeah, Carol's got like fucking 20 vampires now. I don't know. He sculpted all of them. He sculpted a couple maybe. I think he's actually got a guy. He's just But I love him. Whoever does him, I love him.
You know, I like to play like a little game in my head, and it's like, how many people are watching us right now?
Yep.
There's about 42 people watching us right now, right? And usually about like 10 to 15 are relatively active in the chat. So the little game that Andy plays in his head is like, oh, the rest is just, like it's Carl Rudick. Reggie in there, he's easy having a watch, just all the greats around.
Masculins came in. Masculins came in that one time.
Craft Worlds is here. You know what? I'm pretty sure Kirill pops in every now and again.
I should get Craft World back out.
Yeah, for sure.
For a stream. That was awesome.
Yeah, everyone's here. Wardle's here. Gray's here. Nah, I'm just being a flog, having a laugh.
Kirill getting tips from
yeah, of course. Expressive NMM with Trent Dennison. I've got a sort of a newfound guilty pleasure as well at the moment, Trent.
What is it, mate?
I'm very into like studying the great artists.
Like traditional painters?
Yeah.
Every time Vidsy and I go to a gallery and stuff, we'll just be walking around and I'll just be looking at artwork and shit. And then I'll just stop and take a random photo of a piece of artwork that just is nothing. She's like, why are you taking a fucking photo of that for? And I'm like, oh, just look at the metal. Looks really realistic.
Yeah.
You did.
I think this is another occasion where you make things up for the story.
Rocket thinks I'm making this up for the story. I think I've actually got that exact moment on film, so I'm going to show that to her later, and then she'll feel a little foolish. Yeah, she does like watching our videos.
Is Rocket like getting into galleries and having a look around and stuff?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Loves it.
Talks about how like looking at paintings makes us feel and stuff like that.
It's probably the only thing we've got in common, mate. Food. Yeah.
What about a bit of NRL?
Yeah, the NRL's rocketing up her estimation, so that's for sure.
I'm an expert now.
Yeah, she's pretty big fan of the NRL now.
Trent just looks at the penises when we go to galleries.
I do. I have a tendency to just walk around enjoying the penises on sculptures.
Just dong, just glorious dong.
Yeah, just get it in and around my mouth.
Helicopter him in. He's on his way. Yeah.
Nah, it's awesome to go to museums and look at sculpture and.
Maybe that's what we should do when you come down.
Have we been to the Melbourne Gallery together, Rocket? You went one day, didn't you?
I went to the Chanel exhibition at the MGB.
When we went down together, and I taught that class at House of War.
I went by myself again.
Yeah, you went by yourself. Yeah, I thought so. No, I don't identify with the sculptures of Greek men, my friend. Unfortunately.
You're about 3 feet too tall for that, aren't you, mate?
I am. Never mind.
Yeah, it's crazy to think how much Renaissance painting has influenced miniature painting. Like there is some correlation there that's utterly absurd.
Do you think, and this is probably a broader topic for saturation generation, do you think that's a good thing, or do you think that that's a bad thing? Do you think
that's a great question? Did you have a bit more to that question?
Well, yeah. Do you think that's been driven by specific people in the community, forcing us to go down that path? What do you think the future of miniature painting looks like? It's a very, very broad question.
Is that in fact stifling other creative periods influencing miniature painting would be another one as well.
Yeah. Have you seen? I'll send you this link on Instagram. I don't know if you've seen this guy, but I'm loving what he's doing at the moment. Absolutely loving it. That's the guy I'm talking about, friends. But it's I posted it in the chat, mate.
Oh, look, so this gentleman, right, is an absolute lag. I got a nice little story, like a very brief, almost nothing story, right? But when I first joined Instagram, when I first joined the masses of us all sort of getting your stuff out there, the very first thing I posted was a piece probably dearer to my heart than it is to yours, which was Alicia the Gloriously Shit. Yeah?
Yep.
Or the Artistically Shit.
I remember it.
Yep. A man who paints miniatures was one of the first person to post on my picture, and was like, mate, I am all about this, right? Wind it round 18 months later, and you look at everything that he's doing, and it's all in this same vein to a degree. Now, he's obviously executing it, I think, a lot better than I was 18 months ago. But what I really enjoy is that I feel that I know an artist that might be having a bit of an influence on him, which is David Walker, who's the artist who does those, those really beautiful portraits with all the colour splashed through them.
Yeah.
It feels like it's influencing his style. And this is like a direct style that comes... It's got a bit of a street art element to it. And I think that it's kind of pushing its way in a little bit, eh? It's kind of like bullying its way into miniature painting, which I think is really cool.
Well, Patricia Sancho is doing some cool shit at the moment as well. Really,
her latest piece, I love the background for.
And that's the thing. When you talk about that Elysium model, right? I dislike it because it's not far enough, if you know what I mean. But at the same time, it's not executed as well as it needs to be. But Patricia's piece is like the fusion of the two styles. That guy, he's like doing really interesting. Yeah, I just find that is what you were trying to go for, and didn't quite land.
So I think you're right, but I think I wanted to be much louder.
Yeah.
Right? In that, so a man who paints miniatures, or a man painting miniatures, uses a lot of the background to tell that story.
Yeah.
I want to use the miniatures still. Like I want to translate the picture through, like, almost making the colours. How do I say it? It kind of makes the colours almost redundant, right? Like, the colours that are there are irrelevant. The colours are not necessarily important to your eyes being able to read the piece.
Yep.
But in saying that, that's what makes the colours relevant. I know that sounds really wish-washy or a bit stupid. Maybe I haven't thought about that enough in a good way to explain it. But the colours are the thing that makes it interesting at first, right? But how do you make colours just splattered all over something actually look good, legible, readable? Well, that's all about light placements and values and contrast, right?
Yeah.
So once all of that's done right and correct, and the eye starts reading the piece again as that, then you can then start talking about the colours again and start talking about the placements of the colours. Oh, why did the person painting this choose to put magenta here versus yellow? You know what I mean? Like, a lot of those choices are legitimate choices. They're actual choices that you're making along the way in order to make it work. So where I think we differ is that I was trying to do that more with the miniature, and he's been really smart and incorporated backgrounds into a lot of it, which brings that 2D element in to help tell the story. That's my interpretation of it anyway. And either way, I'm enjoying it. And Scott, I really like that you're enjoying it too.
Yeah, I'm a Philistine when it comes to art, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know what I like. I don't like to be challenged.
No.
Rocket's over here laughing her head off. Eating their fucking Doritos. Eat your Doritos, fucker.
Don't be a hater.
But every now and then, something that is a little bit like out there catches my imagination and just makes me go, yes, this is what art's all about. You know, making you believe in something.
Yeah, well,
different.
we can say you have Philistine tendencies, but you want to be challenged. Like, you're looking to be challenged and you're looking to be opened up. Like, you're looking for new inspiration, right? You're never closed off to the idea.
Well, it's very similar to how I like food, right? I order the same shit every time, every place I go, I just get the same shit.
Mm-hmm.
When we go to a new place, I have to find a new thing that I like, and then I'll usually order that same thing. But every now and then, I'll just reach a point where I'm like, you know what? I want something different now. And I'll get something different. So it's less about not being open to new things, but it's just, I know what I like.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
I like it. I don't need to be constantly challenged in aspects of my life. I mean, I get challenged a lot at work.
Well, we need comfort, right?
Yeah.
Comfort is very important. And if in miniature painting you find comfort in knowing what you like, then that's just a part of your journey. That's a part of your you, like,
Yeah.
right? But I still stand firm in that I guess we spend enough time together now. You know, it's been sort of 18 months, give or take a little bit either side. But consistently we've spent time talking about the things we love, and we happen to like a lot of the same things. But I've seen you consistently at times have things challenge the way that you look at things, and you end up enjoying it, or like, I really like this, you know what I mean? So I think, yeah.
Yeah, that is an interesting observation, Wampa.
Let's have a look what's one bar suggested.
I think I can explain it. I think I can anyway. I think it's less about knowing what I like when it comes to painting. This is what I like, is to not feel like I have to follow rules or guidelines when I'm painting. I'm just doing this for fun. I don't want people telling me what to do.
People shouldn't get allured though by the idea that what you do is chaos, because it's not. It's all structure. There's actually heaps of structure in the way that Trent paints. If you pay close enough attention, there's tons and tons of structure.
How dare
it's
you.
just sits in subconscious structure rather than conscious structure.
But it's also speed. It looks like
Speed.
chaos because
Yes, correct.
because it's just happening so fast.
And I think it's understated, like, how much we all study as well, right? We study a fair bit. We're studying every day. We're looking at what's been painted, who's painting what, how they're painting, new techniques, new products, like external influences impacting miniature painting, i.e., we've gone from, you've gone from, I won't say we, you've gone from painting, a carousel-based diorama into an action scene diorama that feels like the crescendo in a battle, to now we're moving into like electronics and their impact in diorama. Like, it's all like they're all trickling into each other, but they're all coming from different places, inspiration from different places and different things, right? So
There's a bit more storytelling in this one, I think.
mm-hmm. Yeah, but the whole like chat that we had in regards to the whole chat we had in regards to the cloak was Trent already knew what colour he was going to paint the cloak. He just was, you know, like there's something we said about both having a conversation and sharing some discourse on what I might think about the colour as well.
Well, I did say black.
Perspective.
I did say black earlier in the chat in
Yeah.
the stream, but I do change my mind. Sometimes I'll be like, you know what, that's a really good idea, and I'll change. But I don't. You know, I've got confidence in pretty much everything I do these days. So.
Yeah. And that shows in like the speed in which you paint. That's what the confidence is, right? Is like I know, like how many capes have you painted, Trent?
Oh, fucked.
Yeah,
a few.
You don't know, right? You can't answer that. You don't know. You painted 50, 70, 100, 250. That's irrelevant. Like you've painted so many cloaks that you don't have to think about the way light touches cloak anymore. You just have to choose your direction and go.
Frog Jim is desperate for some feedback here.
Yeah, you can definitely. Any chance for feedback before my next meeting? Yeah, Frog Jim, of course you can have feedback. Where there's some other stuff in here. Yeah, so like, I think I had something that I wanted to say back just before. We move fast when we're getting inspired about conversation and where were we? Yeah, cloaks and stuff. You eventually just know where you're going to put your brush strokes on the cloak. Speaking of which, what I did want to talk about, right? So this dwarf, right? This dwarf here went through. The dwarf itself had pretty clear direction the whole way through. I had a pretty strong idea about what I was going to do color scheme wise, and that was informed by who it was for and the color branding for Stonebeard.
Yep.
Now the base, however, right? Instinctually, my first choice to do this base was to have a red-orange base because of the heavy contrast it can provide with blue.
Yep.
Right? And I was like, great. Well done, Andrew. You're so cliche. Like, you're just going to do the thing that makes the sense to do. Cool. Right? So I painted this base for 5 hours last night, trying to figure out all these different color combinations to eventually wheel myself back around to what the right color choice is. Like, so that's the difference between someone like Trent, who has been painting and doing this for a long time now and probably just knows when to make, like, how to make that choice, versus me, who's like, it's not about the skill or the capability of your ability to do it. It's about, like, once you've explored all those choices, you realize for yourself, okay, this is why this choice is really chosen, because everything else just doesn't look that good, right? So it's like the further down the journey sort of conversation.
I think you talk a lot of shit. You couldn't tell how the way that you speak and then your artwork is not reflective of the same person, I don't think.
What is that?
Well, I look at your work and I think, oh, this guy's fucking an absolute jet, you know?
Yeah.
So, anyway, let's have a look at this Frog Gym piece and prepare for veritable destruction. I'm not even going to bother, mate. You can't even give us a photo that's in focus. What is that trash? What are we in the 1980s?
I will say,
we on VHS?
If I am jibber-jabbing a little bit extra tonight, I apologise. I'm not eating a single thing today. So
Get some food into you, dickhead.
When it comes to, like, my thoughts collecting.
Get some food into you, dickhead.
Apologies to everyone here if I'm just rambling a little bit or not getting clear, concise information to you. But
can you believe Frog Jim has dished up a fucking VHS tape for his picture?
Let me have a look at this. See, like, it's not that bad on my beautiful new monstrous curved monitor.
It's not that
But
bad.
I can't enhance it. I can't, like, upsize it or anything. So
Enhance!
I have to download the picture.
Enhance.
Yeah. Have you got it up?
No, I'm not bringing it up. I'm not bringing it up on the fucking screen. Not with that trash. But I'll give you some feedback. The metal's really good.
What do you want feedback on, Frog Jim? Did you have anything specific? Yeah, look, Frog Jim, it's probably in theme with how shit my webcam thing is doing for focusing this model. But this is day one, mate, and you're well past day one, Chief. So we expect more from you. That's why we're hard on you, Frog Jim, because we expect more. Well, you're better than that.
I don't expect more. I expect absolute rubbish.
Let's have a look at the Slayer sword. Are you ready to have a look at that yet, or you're vibing right now?
I'm deep in the tank at the moment, so okay. we will absolutely look at the Slayer sword, and we will be able to talk about Albert's piece as well, because I think it is my favourite thing I've seen this year.
All right.
Albert's piece is my favourite thing I've seen this year.
Okay, of everything you've seen.
Of everything. Every single piece that I've seen painted this year, that is my favourite.
Well, it wasn't like 4 days ago that you were absolutely frothing over Liam's latest piece, so you move quick.
Liam's latest piece ain't got shit on
Albert's.
On Albert's, come on now. Liam's latest piece is
fine. I'm comfortable to say that I think that Albert's probably the best miniature painter, or if not, you could probably put him as the best miniature painter. Really, what do you think? He's got to be in that conversation.
Yeah.
Especially for Warhammer based stuff, he's insane. But then again, his work on the Rackham Dwarfs and those, just everything really is pretty incredible. So he's right up there.
I haven't seen his Slayer sword in the flesh. Or sorry, it didn't win the Slayer sword, which I was surprised, but it would have been in the conversation for sure. And the diorama from Chris is also next level, but Chris's diorama didn't make me go, my God, this is the absolute peak of miniature painting.
Well, I think that one, and here's a conversation, I think one executes scale modelling to an absolute sit, right? Chris's piece is peak scale modelling. The water is awesome, composition is awesome, the jewel is awesome. The painting is really, really, really good. It's really, really good. But it's just painting for the piece. There's nothing that makes you go, oh. Whereas you might say that Albert's probably leans less out of the scale modelling and more into that single miniature style composition that works so well for Golden Demon. But his painting is just holy shit. What do you think about that statement? You think that's probably, there's some chop to that?
I agree with your assessment, yes.
Yeah.
Chris is a phenomenal modeler, and I don't know if you've ever read, but he actually did an article on Hush, the painted version of Hush that he did, and it's a incredible article, really, really worthwhile reading, because he goes into detail on his process, how he approached painting what was essentially a bust. His bust that he sculpted, but yeah, he goes into crazy detail, and he's a scale model, absolutely. So yeah, worth checking out. I'll see if I can track it down.
Which I will say, catch me on the right day, and I am into Froth Town with scale modelling. Catch me on the right day, and I'm going to be yep, 100%. That's my Slayer sword choice right there. The water's too good, composition is too good, painting is absolutely at a standard that is viable to win, or in the mix to win a gold or even a Slayer sword.
Well, as you know, I've been getting right into the modelling side of things, after QMHE.
Yeah. That book has, I think, had a pretty big impact on you after QMHE as well. Coinciding with us being at QMHE, and then also you picking up the latest FAQ book.
Well, no, I've had that one for a while, but I pulled it out and reread it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought you'd only recently got that one. much it's weighted with painting versus modelling. I think what Golden Demon represents is what it wants to represent is excellence in all fields. That's like the standard that it's aiming to achieve. Now, some people get that confused, I think, with it being about a particular paint style. I.e., last Golden Demon in Chicago, everyone's like, that only won Slayer Sword because that only won Slayer Sword because it was painted in a Games Workshop style, and that's what they won because they wanted to sell miniatures, right? I think that is a shallow impression of what's going on there. And I think if you spoke to some of the really up there artists who were competing at that event, I think quite a few of them had agreed amongst themselves that the skink was going to win.
Well, Andy Wardle said it was going to win. He said that 2 days before it actually won when he saw it.
Yeah. There's got to be a reason for that, right?
Yeah.
So I think where I'm going with this is I think you can win with many different painting styles as long as they're executed to the highest level that style potentially can be. I think, is his name John Magliotto? Is that his name? I mean, if I'm not pronouncing, if he watches this or anything and I'm not pronouncing his name the right way, I
John
apologize.
Margiotta.
Yeah, Blood is Medium, right?
Yep.
Is his Insta handle. You know, incredibly unique style to himself, heavily influenced by scale modelling techniques, and he does pretty well whenever he enters a Golden Demon. So that's a pretty good example.
Did you ever know that you're my hero? Frog Jim is disappointed with his feedback.
A bit more, like
He
the
got
stuff that he asks
nothing
is
from
enough in the
Big
photo.
Dano. And that's because he took a photo with a fucking potato. See you, Space Toy.
See you, mate. Well, you said you wanted general light placement ECT, trying to get less white in my highlights. All right. Well, do you put white in your highlights? Which is the first question I'm going to ask. Or paints that are mixed with white. Do you mix your own paints ever, or do you do everything with premixes?
I do have a concept and a vision for the Cyberpunk City, yes. It will be a really cool fusion of miniature painting and hopefully electronics, and hopefully I'm going to try and incorporate what are those paints that go UV?
Fluoros or
just the UV.
Fluoros are UV sensitive.
Yeah, the UV paints that we saw that.
Yeah, you want to be able to turn it off. So probably the best example of that is Arnau's Zill, right? Where if you put it under UV light, all of the green lights up into like glowing green. Yeah.
So that's going to be the whole piece.
I'm pretty sure all fluorescents respond to UV lighting, don't they?
Well, if they do, that's great news for me. Yeah, Frog Jim's talking about value contrast.
Yeah, you are talking about value contrast, which means you're probably not getting your midtones quite right.
Value contrast versus saturation. I reckon it's when you click on saturation, that's when you become the next level of painter.
Yeah.
When you work out how to get value without desaturating.
One of the best lessons you taught me, my friend.
Thank you.
And I think it's just not quite as prevalent in miniature painting, so you can cheat a little bit more there. But when you get to bigger scale stuff, it's just too telling, isn't it?
Yep.
I wonder how Andy did with his tech list.
Was he judging?
It's all internal, isn't it?
I'm not sure.
Oh well, look, the compendium has put a photo up, so let's save the photo and then we can enlarge it.
Of what?
It's a whole bunch of legends, all chilling together, all holding trophies.
Oh yeah, I saw that one. Yeah. Yeah, that was what I was talking about before.
Yeah. So who have we got in here?
Aroba's at the front. Albert's at the
Yeah.
front. Albert's carrying a gold and what looks like a silver. Aroba's carrying a bronze, I think, and a gold maybe. So
David Soper's got
Yeah.
something there.
Soper's
I'm
there.
pretty sure. Darren Latham in the background there. Are they all the gold winners? I think they might be all golds. Maybe not. Seems that anyone who's holding a... Well, I think Darren Latham only won a bronze. So.
How would you get a good pink oozing wound? Not flesh, but like fleshy bits. Well, my golden approach with any fleshy, gapey, oozy wounds is always just contrast paints with maybe some gloss as well.
See you later, Mini Master.
See ya, Mini Matster.
Yeah, Darren got bronze. Yeah, so it's just must have been a group of people, group of painters all together enjoying their weekend. Tell you what, makes you a little bit sad to be this far away from it.
Yeah, it'd be nice to head along, but
Yeah,
you will savour that experience
yeah, that's very true.
when you do get there.
Yeah, I don't know if I could mix it up in the Golden Demon space. I think it's I think my painting style probably doesn't lend itself to the best on the smaller scale. Who knows? Who knows really? I haven't painted anything small in it in quite a while, like properly to the highest degree.
Yeah, you're probably doing yourself a disservice, mate. I think you could mix it up probably better than I could. I've never been able to do that scale all that well.
Yeah, it's challenging.
They do have a pink contrast, mate. They've got Volupus pink.
Yeah, and then there's a bunch of like newer ones that you could work in some, additional.
Actually, I tell you what I did use fluorescent magenta. Paint white and then paint fluorescent magenta over the top of it. That's the go.
Yeah, that'll do it. Or even like a little bit of like, what is it? Is it still called tentacle pink? I
Yep.
think there's a game color tentacle pink
Yep.
off the top of my head. Squid pink, it's called. Do you have that one?
Do I have squid pink?
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's not a bad pink to be able to lay. Like you can add a little bit of white to it, and then layer the fluoro magenta over the top. No, AK's fluoros are pretty nice.
They're okay, actually.
AK's fluoro pink or magenta. I use that for that little one of those little Votan models,
Hey, Rocket.
and that came up pretty nice. I think someone a little bit back, complimenting me on those little guys, whoever that was. Thank you very much. I saw your comment somewhere.
Alright, here's what we're going to do, Bucks.
Sure
I'm
thing.
going to pull out the diorama. We're going to put everything together.
Yep, it's time for a group shot.
And we're going to get a real pulse
Sense, yeah.
on if we're working or if we need to make an adjustment. Nothing's at full completion. Everything's just in stages. So we'll get a good gauge on where we're at, I think.
So while you're putting that together, are you a bit excited, mate, to be able to come down to Vic and sort of mix it up and maybe paint a couple of pieces for the event?
Yes.
That's great. I'm excited that you're excited.
Yeah, the Arc Open should be good.
Yeah. The adjustments and amendments they've made to the rule set have really sort of elevated my interest for sure. I'm really excited by it now.
No, it's good to have another event in Australia. Hopefully that we can continue to build and get our community pumping towards.
Yeah, it is a bit sad that we don't have a golden demon in the country anymore as well. So maybe this can kind of fill that space a little more. Like Crimson Brush to me feels much more like it follows the pattern of the Monties and the Scale Model Challenges and some of the other events around the world.
Yep.
And then if Art Open sort of stepped into the miniature space a bit more, which it clearly does, right? Like we can say that most of the categories are based around miniature-based stuff. Like there's a few.
Yeah.
I think there's one category for probably what we're preferring to paint.
Yeah. All
I
right.
think that's good.
All right. I'm going to turn saturation generation off.
Yep. Yeah, you got to go to big screen.
Yeah, we're going to go big for this. And I hate to say it, but you're getting condensed as well. Boom.
That's fine. You can cut me right out of the picture, mate. Miniature painting always comes first. Hobby first. Also, we sort of glossed over a really great question that you asked, a set of questions surrounding the Renaissance and all of that sort of stuff and that level of painting and influence. I think that should be an absolute episode. I think there's heaps there to be able to cover and chat about.
All right. So, yeah, we've had a little bit of progress on the base. A little bit.
How much did you paint yesterday?
Yeah, fair bit of painting.
Yeah, fair bit of painting got done. 10 hours?
Yeah, would have been close. Would have
Yeah.
been close. All right. There's a lot of shit. There's a lot of shit to get.
Before we talk about painting at all, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
You might fucking hate me for this question.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about the sheer nothingness on the side of the stained glass window? Like it just kind of it feels like it's not naturally ending. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's put it all together and we can answer that question.
Sure.
Because there's probably an answer to that question. I'm gonna turn off.
Do you first while you're putting it together, do you think that's a fair question?
Yeah.
Or do you think I'm being a bit scathing?
No. I think it's a fair question.
I must admit, I had a bit of a giggle when you were flagellating yourself over gluing down some basing elements.
Oh man, fucking hell! It's so mate. I had to. I've figured out a way to paint it today, right? I figured out a way to hold the base, feel comfortable, and feel like I can get good detail. So that's a positive. But fuck me, it was a mission.
Big win.
G'day, TJ.
I enjoy the way the knees are painted.
Yeah, it's not finished, but yeah, I also enjoy
The right
it.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I also enjoy it.
So, but yeah, that's not a bad idea, but I think you can just potentially add some more bricks and rubble and just toward the bottom end of it, and it should be okay.
All right, I may even take the camera off and let you move around the diorama.
Tour.
Yeah. So that is where we're at so far. That's all the stuff that's painted.
Yeah.
Everything else is still black. So.
All right. Where do you want me to start?
Let me just. Yeah. Where do you want to start? Where do you think is worth starting?
Well, the thing that I'm looking at the most that draws my attention is at the highest values is the ghoul on top of the tombstone. He's incredibly bright.
Yep.
I don't know whether that's just the angle we're getting from the camera. Yep. That whole pocket right there is super.
Yeah. So that's where I spent most of my time today. Is that area?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm really liking that area.
Yeah. So
I am worried that it might take focus away from the first real viewing angle that should be. But I think that Emetriel will bring you back there because she will probably have bright robes, right? She'll be quite light in the piece.
Well, she should be the highest value on the whole piece.
Yeah, because she's angelic, right?
Yeah.
Like,
so she'll be radiating or something. Or she'll be dead. Dead radiation. Yeah. All right, that needs a bit of colder light, I think. So.
I want... Like, for me, it's Blood Moon, but it feels like there's not enough red.
Yeah. So I was hesitant to go a lot of red. And maybe we change the title. Because I like how cold it is at the moment, right? Like, I like the coldness of... Here, let's take this off.
Well, these are colours that you've used... So when I was watching you yesterday, right, I was watching and I was like, he's using all of his wheelhouse colours that he loves for diorama bases. Yep. And then we come back today and you've changed it. And I like that you've changed it. Yep. You're still in the same spectrum, but you've pushed everything higher. Yep. And that's that moonlight impact that it's having, right? Where you're like, this needs to feel like moonlight is touching it. So I really like what you've done there. Yep. If you were going to keep a Blood Moon, I potentially would have considered all of where the green is, that being a red light, which you do really, really well.
Yeah, I was also thinking red light, right? But then I thought, you know what? I haven't done an eerie green light in a long time, and if we have the green and then the red light coming from the LED, potentially we don't need to go with the red light on the base as well. So this area sucks at the moment. I'm going to change these candles to green.
Okay. Yep, that makes sense then. Like if you're going for a magically sort of imbued.
Yep.
Then someone in the chat come up with the right word for what I'm trying to say. Help me out here. Help your brother out. A hex-ray flame or something like that, you know. Initially when I first saw it, like not tonight, but yesterday, I thought, man, there's a lot of purple. But it's kind of working for me now.
Yep. Yeah, it's working for me too, actually. This is. I did this earlier today,
angle there. Oof. Yeah. Well, that's the angle, mate. Yeah. That's the angle.
I did this earlier today, and I was just like, oh my god, this is looking awesome now. Like something happened. and it's just all coming together now. So yeah, changing this light to green is going to have a big impact, I think, because this is just a little spot of warmth that makes no sense, right?
Yep.
Everything else is
The
just
whole
really
thing is cold.
yeah, it's a cold colours, right? And then all of a sudden, oh, here's some fucking warm orange. Makes no sense. Even this red, right? Even this red is a cold red. So, you know, should we go there? No, we'll go this one. Yeah. So, I love this little storytelling here. I love all of the things. This guy, I'm less sold on so far. I went with a pretty rudimentary approach to him so far. I haven't really dived into him, but I think I need to, given that this is the angle we're looking at for him, I probably need to tweak that a little bit more and
It
make.
should be, hear me out.
Yeah.
Hear me out. A strong, cold, red, purple cloak.
Whoa.
Really,
Okay.
really dulled down.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, we can do that. This purple up here is so. Let me explain that element, right? Because that whole thing doesn't make a lot of sense at the moment. Like people, I imagine most people are like, what the fuck is happening up there? Why is there just this? Oh,
We're getting light camera light on your the light.
Yeah, that's
facing is
right.
covering
I'm
up.
putting the camera back in, mate. Just
Oh,
relax.
okay.
Just relax. It's gonna happen.
I'm fucking hype, mate.
I know. You're always fucking hype.
I am. It's part of the deal.
Yeah. So, this whole area is supposed to be the ruins of like a manor house, right?
Yeah.
So, I was going for like a carpet.
Yeah.
I
And you know what? It kind of looks a little bit like a carpet.
yeah. So
But does it feel a bit out of place?
it definitely feels out of place. So I think I'm gonna tweak it back into be like a marble-ish green, maybe.
How do you feel about this is going to be wild, right? Wild. You might just shoot this down. How do you feel about turning it into a rug?
What color rug?
A real elaborate rug with a bit of freehand patterning and stuff like that.
Do you know? So this is the thing, right? That was originally what I wanted to do there, and that was my whole point. Was I wanted that to be a rug. These aren't GW minis, TJ, no. And then I moved away from that because I was like, oh, it won't really fit. And then I glued this whole thing down because I was like, I don't need to do freehand. The problem is now I think a rug would be awesome there, but I just...
You know what type of rug too? I think you're thinking the exact same type of rug I'm thinking.
What, like one of those magic carpets, Aladdin fucking magic carpet? Yeah,
super, like, they're Arabian, aren't they? Is that what they're called?
Arabian nights, like Arabian days.
Something that suggests like they brought this in. Persian rug, thank you, Transit, you're the best.
More often than not. So yeah, I'm really excited about this guy because I'm going to get to add all cold green light on his back now, which is going to be fucking mad. Because
that's true.
There's you can't really see it from there, but there's a little.
So you're going to have to do really strong green lighting on the executioner.
Yeah. So that and that actually, I think, is one of the reasons why I'm excited about the piece, because I was like, she's just going to be dark and boring, and now all of a sudden I get to light her up with green, and I'm like, oh, that's going to be fucking mad.
That's some good storytelling there, man. That's exactly it. Like this last sort of vestige of opulence that they've got. I feel like you have an opportunity to put something really cool on the wood.
Here?
Up the top. Yeah.
Maybe
random.
Allow me to show you. Allow me to show you this little bad boy that we used way back at the start. Is this
the banner?
Right there.
Yeah. Let's have a look at it. Yeah.
Just like so.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. So we'll just get a little bit of that going on.
All right. So my two, everything is humming, but I'm going to be a bit scathing.
Go.
I don't like the armor at all on the guy on the top.
This guy?
Yeah.
Oh, you're cooked, mate. You're cooked. It's fucking awesome.
I don't like that armor. I think there's two different ideas happening on it. I think one idea is like this real dark, like gritty sort of armor, and then it's like these really intense light placements. And I think that there's too much of a juxtaposition between them.
It's not finished yet, obviously, but
I know that it's not finished yet.
I was going for really rusty and
But how is it like so shiny then? If it's going to be really rusty, like those shines on the chest.
No, mate. Rusty things are rusty in areas. They're not rusty all over. You can have a knife that's rusty but still has a cutting edge.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. It's on the very edge, right?
Yeah. I will. That's a work in progress, and I wanted to pull everything together, right? Give everything colours so that we could get to this point and go, this is working, this is not working, etc. And this area is weak at the moment, for sure. This area is the strongest by a country mile.
So
the
area that is weak has the potential to be the best.
Yeah.
So that's really good.
This area, love it.
Yeah, huge fan. Actually, a huge fan of the whole angle into that.
Yeah. The king on his throne. He's good. He's good. I like him. Doing this in green's going to make a big difference, I think. It's going to really tie it all together. I'm really excited about that idea, actually. So
yeah, he gets to put a little soft green glow into the bottom of his cloak and on the bones.
And then then we get greens all through here. We get a little bit of green here, and it just probably ties it into this piece, which helps it feel together. How do you feel about the window frame now when this is on? Because
when the banner's up there.
Well, when the banner's on, and also when this piece is on, like it feels.
The problem is that it's a ruined space, and then that window frame is perfect, and the bricks underneath it are not perfect. So it feels like all you need to do is like bring a few little bricks out, maybe a little bit of rubble just up into the underside of the frame, and then maybe extending out just a little bit, maybe like a slight little extension of the bricks, and it'll just read a whole lot more like.
All right,
like it's crumbled around the window.
Let's do something.
Have you got like blue tack or even like?
Let me show you a little bit of this gear.
Let me see if I can find an image.
If I can make this work. I may not be able to make this work. It should work, but this is my moon. The battery pack. That thing. Alright. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. This is the back of this piece. And you can't see, but down here is a spot for my battery, which is then going to run cable up through the pipe, which is then going to allow this to sit here. But at this point in time, I can't put the battery down the bottom because I haven't wired it long enough yet. But I can put this little bit. This is a precarious situation.
I'm off screen in a moment. I'll be back in 1 second. I'm just trying to find some reference for you.
Come on, Dino. Get it together, man. Get it together, man. Alright, where's my masking tape? Gonna have to do it this way. Wasn't planning on doing this tonight, but it's fun. Alright. I'll put this bit here.
I just uploaded a bunch of photos for you.
Beautiful, thank you.
What are your plans also for like hiding, concealing, and cleaning up the back part? Are you just gonna?
Just be patient, mate. Just be patient. Right now, you'll actually see the answer to that question.
Yeah, sit. Yeah, it's not something we'd actually talked about once.
So, all of this stuff is going to sit in this little hole like this.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
Which is going to... I'll cover up with plastic card at some point. Huh?
You're a man.
What? What?
I said you're a man. Like, there's so many like things happening here.
Yeah. Alright, so then we just need to plug the battery in. Where's my battery? Where's my battery at? Actually,
You've lost it.
I've got to test this thing. I've got a spare battery anyway. Where's my battery at? Is it? Oh, it's in here. It's in here. Nice one. I was going to put this here. Look at this. That just fucking...
You ever think there's going to be an Icarus moment on one of these dioramas where it's just like, Jesus. I want moving parts. I want LEDs. I want it to communicate with you. I want it to talk. You need to ask a question. It's going to answer it.
Did you ever see Gui's workshop that Raphael Pika did? It's fucking awesome. I'll show you pictures.
Yeah, the camera.
Right. Yeah, the camera. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was amazing. Yeah.
Pretend this battery is not existing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is going to be hidden away, as will the rest of this shit. But let's turn all the lights off. Turn all the lights off! And I'll turn... Sorry, Rocket. Thank you. Where's my switch? Here it is. Boop. Alright, so
Okay.
this is the... So the red LED, the red wire, I'm not sure about yet, right? But I think we can make it work. Don't forget that this... So the moon's going to be further over, right? So the whole thing basically fills the...
Yeah. So the moon is reading really well. The red LED just looks like a red LED strip.
Right. So don't forget that all the light will be diffused because
there's
going to be frosted glass in front of it. Actually, I can do that now because I have the frosted glass.
Are you painting the glass or is it already done?
It's just plastic at the moment, but it's frosted plastic. My plan for the frosted plastic is to fill it with coloured resin.
Yeah.
You can't really see how it looks in the flesh, but
the moon. You can see a difference now.
The moon looks awesome.
Way better.
Yeah, the moon looks awesome in there, and it'll look even cooler when I add coloured coloured resin into all of those little bits. So that's going to be cool. I'm really happy about that.
Will the resin, like you're just going to do minimal colour, because it might be too dark.
It's going to just be tiny bits of colour. I'm going to use UV resin.
Yeah, nice.
So that I can just pour it in
and dry it.
The moon's awesome. Really happy with that. The red light, not as convinced yet, right?
No, I'm not sold on the red light.
But so here's another thing I could do.
Can you make it purple?
I don't think I could make it purple. No. I got these little white ones. So I could just put. So I was thinking I'll put one back here like this.
Yeah.
Like the moonlight's coming through the wooden slats, which you can't really see on this. But there's like wooden slats. Over here.
Mm-hmm.
and it looks really cool. That light's coming from behind. So I could put one of these white ones behind the slat and one down here in this little hole. I'll turn the light on. One down here, one down here. So there's no red light then.
Yeah.
The red may be unneeded, not necessary, but I really liked it. That was all.
I think you might have to cut the red light because I think the green ambience is probably going to be enough.
I am in agreement with all of your opinions, even if I don't like it. Because the red is really cool.
The red is really cool, but we're getting enough red potentially. I mean, how open are you, right? If the guy at the top is not balancing, would you paint him red?
Yeah.
Cool. That could be a conversation for a later day, because he might need to offset the red of the blood dragon.
Cool.
Because then you're going to create a triangle potentially with the blood dragon, the one at the top, and the if you do decide to go with a reddish dull cloak for the winged vampire, you'll get a really nice triangle of colour there.
Alright, so I think I can safely say that the red LEDs is not the go for this project.
Well, you are a wonderful idea. We will reuse you another time.
Indeed.
You will make your way into the Cyber City, no doubt.
Somewhere, somehow,
Yeah.
we will find a way. Yep. So this is the wiring. It's all very. Oh no! I've just fucking put an LED on my magnet. Don't do that, you know. This is all. Yeah. So and the other cool thing I'm going to do. This might not be necessary, but I'm going to try it. Is on the back of this. So I'm going to have the moon, and then I'm going to have clouds and a night sky painted on the background. So through the window.
That's a great idea. Yeah, that's a great idea. The diffused, honestly, mate, like you've nailed the diffused moon.
Yeah.
Like idea. Like and if that's been nailed, let's not maybe clog it up with other things, right?
Agreed.
Like,
Agreed.
Yeah.
Concur. That is the right answer. There's a little switch here. So this will you just be able to flick it on and off. It's all happening, mate. The LEDs,
super, yeah.
the LEDs is all together. It's going.
It's super cool. You've really like piqued me on this idea of having. What about like, if you wanted to have a little more light, what about some form of hanging lamp light type thing, like you see in a cave, coming from the underside where the execution is going to be, that potentially could glow green or to light up that space as well. To help, it could boost your green. Maybe it's probably too much, to be honest. But it could help boost you. If you put a warm light in there, it could boost the green glow like massively.
Maybe.
You know, kind of like one just strung up to the roof sort of thing.
Maybe. I've got fibre optics too, by the way, so I could put fibre optics in here.
Yeah.
So it looks like stars.
Yeah.
That's gonna happen. I'm gonna do that. That's a good idea.
Yeah, little twinkles.
Little twinkles.
Yeah. All right. Let's look at this last thing that I sort of challenged, which was the outside of the stained glass.
So
the images. You got the images there. The first image is a really good example of like what it could look like. Just the way it's ending feels natural.
All right, I'm gonna go look here, which is gonna take you off screen, but that's okay. I see. Yep. Okay, I can do that.
You see what I mean now? Like with that natural sort of, it'd literally be just putting in a few rocks, a little bit of a little bit of texture, a little bit of brickage, not much at all, just to take the harshness of that edge off, and I think you'd be bang on. Because it'd be what the window frames.
So
you know which bit I was talking about too, right?
Yeah. So let me just mock it up with some alfoil.
Yeah.
So I wasn't no part of the of this bit was actually locked in yet. Like, well, sorry, that's not true. No part of this upper area was fully finalized because I had still no real idea about how I was going to do it all.
All right, lower it, mate. Lower it. Take it down to the bottom. I don't think you need to go, up the top. You just need it to be down the bottom right-hand corner. Even a little bit lower, almost in line with the brickwork itself. Just catching the end. Yeah.
And then some more bricks on top.
Yep. If that, I wouldn't go too high. Think about where the bricks are, on the other side. Needs to be in line with that. Because then you've got wood. So all the wood has been destroyed from this top side, right? It's all been crumbled, it's all gone, and then we've just got what would have been holding the bricks up. The wood up. And then that's going to rubble away, as it erodes and stuff, bringing in a real natural element to the way that the window's sitting.
I think you are onto something.
Yeah. And you could even mirror, like, now we can, like, you can even mirror that buttress that you have, the two buttresses that you've got going on the other side.
Yeah.
So so you see you've got two buttresses holding up, and then go to the wood, you've got another buttress that's on the bottom of it holding the wooden frame stuff up. Up higher, like where your actual wooden panels are.
That?
Yeah, so you've got a buttress there, and then you've got that one there, and so there needs to be another buttress on the other side of the picture frame. And you've got all of these really nice textural elements up there that all are in place, they all structurally feel correct, they all feel ad hoc but also purposeful. Love it. I'm actually loving that space.
I think what I do like about that, right, is it mirrors this. So we've got that circle here and we've got a circle here.
Yeah.
So that creates an interesting shape in the background there. So yeah, I am keen on that as an idea. It'll help a little bit as well with my box that I'm putting at the back.
It'll help conceal it a little bit.
Yep. It'll just create a little bit more space for me to put my moon and scene in. So yeah. It's a good plan, I think. So we will proceed with that.
I'm always mindful. I don't ever want to influence it too much. You know what I mean? But like, Tell me to shut up. You
No,
would
no,
anyway.
but mate, if I wanted you to shut up, I'd tell you to shut up. I'm never shy
Yeah.
in telling people how it is.
No.
This guy needs more saturation.
He does. Just a little bit more, and only on the shoulder, right? Like where the light's coming in through.
I think potentially he needs a cold light coming from this side because the front on angle is all that side. So I'm going to need to add some dark.
Some blues.
Yep.
Some purples.
Some blues. Maybe some greens, actually. Life is a highway. This guy's going to be mad fun to do green light on the back of. He's heavily contrasted.
Favourite?
Yeah, he's heavily contrasted. I like him a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn that bottom thing into a more white marble.
Yep.
You're not sold on this guy. I think he's pretty good, but I can understand why you're not sold. Let's wait and see.
Maybe leave him, bench him until.
Yeah, I think he's going to be okay. This guy is possibly an entire start from scratch job. Because he's just a long way away from...
Maybe just, sideline them two and, let's just, focus on this top rolling angle, this sweeping, from the very top corner, top left corner. If you put your finger up there.
Here. Down.
All the way at the very top of the piece. Yeah. You got to remember, yep, there. Yeah, all the way down, that swirling angle, if we pictured it as a circle,
Yep.
all of that space gets done, and then you can probably place those two vamps in, because their whole environment will be encapsulated, and it'll inform all your decisions on them.
So this chick is going to be green light galore.
Yeah, that's green. We're going to call it green.
Yeah, she's green from now on, super green.
Yeah, super green.
Super green.
Yeah.
This chick is going to be great. She's going to be almost a focal point, I think, in that line down. Got to talk about her a fair bit, and then the pièce de résistance, Amitriel, who will be the only saturated and warm colours, I think.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. So there you go. Nice. That is the progress on the base. You can tell I made a breakthrough today.
You made a huge leap, and I just wanted to really, really pat you on the back for something. It is no secret that I fucking love stones and bricks, right? Probably to a silly amount. And the stones and bricks on the area that you focus just feels so right. How you've angled them in different ways, and you've got a little gargoyle in there and stuff that does it. That twists my titties, mate. That is, pat yourself on the back for that one. That's very well done.
Back patted, my friend.
All right, now return the favour, sir. You're going to look at this piece that I've done and tell me what you think.
All right, do we have a photo?
Yeah, there's I think 4 or so in there.
Wait, where?
Kick me off. They're in the voice chat stuff. Scroll up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
here we go.
You might need to kick me off.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Your camera needs work, mate. Your camera needs a lot of work. The one that you're showing your.
Oh yeah, that thing's yeah.
Never mind, I'll find. All right, Buxo. Little cheeky Buxo, hey?
The cheeky one.
I like it. I like it a lot. You went away from the green, didn't you?
I tried it. Had to.
Can I put some static grass on the base?
Yeah, maybe some little tufts to finish it off. There's a couple of things I need to do. I need to kill the 2 darker lines in the hair. They've got to go.
Yeah. Just some little nice desert tufts, I think would be good.
Yeah, I might do some, like, I might rip them, like, down to just a few sort of spare, like, you know, like 4 or 5 strands coming up.
Yeah. Digging this foot.
Yeah?
Weird thing to say, but that foot is très magnifique. Love these lines in here. Love how much value got in the face. This beautiful. Yeah, I think it just needs some tufts, mate. And maybe just a dark line, like a pattern.
Yeah.
You know, just a line around the edge of the cloth. Because I think just a little bit of extra detail in that area. Because if you look at the axe, right, there's all of these little scratches and textures and detail, and then up here in this main area, it's very, very flat. So I think just adding a little bit, you know, maybe triangles or something along that shoulder, you know.
Yeah, maybe even just a line. Like a line.
Just a line.
Yeah.
That's up there as one of your best pieces, mate, I reckon.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. Because you've found your voice, mate. That's what it feels like to me.
You really think so?
Yeah. Well,
so I've been having a problem, like an internal problem lately, and that is that like things have been resonating with me around being derivative of the people that I watch and look at, and I'm starting to feel that I need to. You'll always be derivative to some degree, right? Let's be honest. Like you very rarely do you just whip an idea out of anywhere, you know, out of nowhere. You just pluck it out of your head and you go for it.
Yeah.
You know, most people need to look at things, look at the way other people have painted it. I'm still in that space, and I'll probably be in that space for a long time. But I have to be mindful now about making sure that I am having a conversation with myself where I'm like, I think I have this skill set that I don't need to replicate things anymore. Does that make sense?
It does. It does, yeah. I think it's that conversation we had a few months ago about style.
Yeah.
What is your style? What is the style of Andy Bucks?
So I would still say that this piece right now is quite derivative of Spain.
Yep.
And when I look at it, I know all of them. Right? Like this is like pretty influenced by Rodrigo's version of this, which I was conscientious not to have any of the Miniature Mentor stuff open. I didn't want to watch the process or how he did anything. I just had some elements that I really enjoyed what he did with it. And I thought that it was about stylistic choices that Rodrigo had made for this piece that I thought suited this piece really well, right? Particularly surrounding his face and how the face was executed with not really lending itself to like being subtle and like having nice color transitions and stuff. Like this is a gruff, angry, you know, feral sort of dwarf, right? So like having that come through the piece in the face with like some jarring color changes and some sharp lines and things. I just think it was a really cool thing for that piece. So I wanted to have that in this particular dwarf. But then I get worried that I'm like, oh, you're just doing what Rodrigo did, so you're just being derivative, you know?
So I think it's okay to just do what someone else does to a point.
Yeah.
But my challenge for you is to be able to do what Rodrigo does is a skill in and of itself.
Yeah. And I feel closer to understanding that. Like I feel like I can understand and do, whether I can do it, I can't do it as good as Rodrigo because it's Rodrigo's style of painting, really.
Yep.
But I understand that process and that skill, which is like everything that Rodrigo does in that, what I've seen, is all about incredibly precise brushstrokes that are bold. You know, he doesn't blend stuff. It's all, you know, about the technique, like the brushstroke itself, right? Which lends itself to being like your brushstrokes have to be really, really precise and in the right place. And that's why he uses small brushes, right? So I feel like I've got a bit of an understanding of that. Similar to like when I did Uther, and like I was looking at land stuff and like, okay, like picking bits and pieces up from the way that he does things. And so I think that in the end I'll have a style that's bastardized from all of the people who have inspired me and that I like the look of their stuff and have been able to study their work.
We stand on the shoulders of giants, mate. There's no artist that's ever lived that hasn't been inspired or taken liberties from another painter, and that's okay. Finding your style could be the hardest challenge you'll ever have. And I'd even argue and say some painters never do. But I think you will. I think you're probably just overthinking it like you always do.
Mind bulleting myself, yeah.
Just keep painting, mate. You know, just keep chipping away and trying things and find something that works for you. And then, you know, even now, right? Even your Uther, you look at it and you go, oh, it's just me copying land. Well, it doesn't look like land. Doesn't look like anyone's really. So, you know, that will happen gradually and over time until you realise, oh my god, this is the way I paint now. So once again, just overthinking it. And
but I think they're necessary thoughts still to have, you know what I mean? Like, I really appreciate and value this conversation that we've had off the back of those thoughts, I guess. So
I sometimes think I'm still not sure who I am as a painter, or rather who I want to be is probably a better question, because I know the way that I paint, and I like the way that I paint, but where's next for me? You know, what is the next step, and how do I continue to evolve? And you know, that's a question that's probably answered more by, you know, the things that I'm doing rather than the style I'm taking, and I'm choosing to be more
I think that you need to have when I say need's never the right. You don't need anything. I'd like to see you enter that space again that you did for scale model.
Yeah.
Because I think that might be the way that next sort of evolution happens. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that's the logical thing to do, is to try and push myself on a piece, which is not something I've done for a while. Let me rephrase that. I push myself all the time with this sort of fucking project, but push myself to paint something that is uncomfortable because I continue to refine.
Like I think at the heart of what you do is paint for fun, and it's evident in how you paint, right? And you like have one of the best messages in miniature painting, I think, which is like, we do this because it's fun, and we do this because it makes us happy, right? So, but I think that can, like, that does hinder at times, like, if you are, like, you said yourself, right, when you go into that space where you're like, I'm going to paint something the best I can, then that you can't let yourself off at all with just, I'm having fun, you know? You've got to be like, this is not fun, but I want this to be, like the best it can be. So I have to push through those barriers, which you talked about with like the Imitra piece, right? Like you were like, there were times that it sucked,
Yep.
but you just kept pushing through and pushing through and pushing through.
Yeah. I gotta probably put that mindset into practice for something for maybe Arc Open. You know, try and give Colwell a run for his money, because I'll never beat Colwell in a straight on duel, right? Because
No, but you have other things. Like, that's a beautiful thing about art, man, and about creating is it ain't just about technical capability. It never will be. And as wanky as it sounds, I personally think that it's like at the heart of it all is like helping the audience or the viewer make an emotional connection to the thing that you're creating, right? And in miniature painting, more often than not, that emotional connection is, wow, that's really cool. You know, like, hey, that's awesome. Like,
yeah,
and there are pieces that do that to us, and really, like, I guess maybe like bring out the inner child. You know what I mean? Bring out the young version of yourself, which you talked about a bunch, right? Like, a lot of these projects that you're doing right now, in a way, are to sort of fulfill that sort of inner child. So, like, those like Albert's piece, right? Like Albert's latest piece, you just look at and you just smile. You know, you're like, the story that he's telling this awesome little goblin who's like,
he's a Gretchen. He's a Gretchen because he's
so angry, right?
He's a Gretchen, not a goblin. Don't forget.
Oh, he's a Gretchen. Yeah. All right, Gretchen. Sorry. Yeah, he's a Gretchen, but he's really aggressive, right? Like, he's angry and he's just popped. Like, I think he's shot some like desert rat, you know, or something like that. That's like scuttled past him, and he's got like his little targeting squig down on the ground, and there's like a frog, and you know, somehow he's acquired a Space Marine's helmet, you know, like, or even like little things like Albert's painted the two moons that he's done before on a goblin. Like, so he obviously really likes painting those. Like, I love stuff like that.
That's good to ask. It's good that you've felt inspired by something we've said.
Yeah, because it's shit, man. I'm gonna ramble a lot of shit. So,
but it's just have fun, mate. It's just have fun most of the time. But that becomes counterproductive when you are trying to be the best version of yourself. So it's a balance. It's a balance.
Still to this day, I think you captured it. Like, Wizard of Oz captured it so well, man.
Yeah, there's a balance to strike, and I don't often strike it. Where I'm like, I can do this, and still, you know, nail the fun, but I can also push. So, but we'll get there. We'll get there at some point. What's the time? It is nearly time to wrap up, Buccarinos.
Yeah, no props, mate. Hopefully by next Monday I'll have all of this sort of figured out, and we have a much more a better layout, and I'll give Trent a little more
yeah, just a
little more notice. Just hey, what's up?
A little more notice would be nice. Yeah. I feel like
I encourage the chat to like participate a little more in these sort of more philosophical conversations that we have about all of this sort of stuff.
You love a bit of chat engagement, don't you?
I love it, yeah, man. Like, that's what it's all about. Like, you know. Someone could be sitting there, Trent, with a thought or a way of thinking that we've just not ever thought about. That's just like, holy shit, you know what I mean? Like, but we ain't gonna never know.
Yeah, so this'll be a greenish tinged light coming from this offside.
Yeah, it's going to cop a airbrush glaze of something like Warp Lightning or whatever.
Yeah.
What are you using?
Yeah, Warp Lightning is probably what I'll use. But it's just going to help add a little bit more value to this angle, which is again, and this is why it's so vital to put these things together, you know, and see them, because this is the angle that we're looking at for most of this model on the scene. And I was painting this angle going, yeah, this looks mad, right? But this is the angle we're seeing, so we need to factor that in.
It's really visually interesting, even the teal right now.
Yeah. Okay, let's go. Yeah, this is going to be a good project, I think, mate. I think the areas that I've sort of been learning on this piece, the LEDs, the crazy lighting, I think I nailed it today, and it's all coming together now. I can see it.
Something to talk about with this piece is I think that you ran into a wall on this piece a lot earlier on. Like,
yeah.
I was only here for the end of Camelot, so I don't really know the process there. But I was there for all of Hyperborea, and the wall came a lot later on. Whereas, like, you think you faced the wall a lot earlier on in the process, and sort of in the last 24 hours have sort of barreled through that wall, faced the wall and gone through it.
I think I know why that's the case, because on Camelot, it's 5 different scenes, and I had clear visions of couple of those scenes, and they were built, and I could just go in and paint those things. Where Hyperborea was exactly the same, it was all clear. It was only when we got to that point of painting where it's like, oh fuck, this is just like a slog. That's when
painting this forever.
Yeah, that's when it hit me for that one. This one, it's because I couldn't see how this moon was going to work, and I was waiting on, you know, bits to be able to do the LED, and then I was like, well fuck, how am I gonna do this? And you know, so I was just, it's hard to think about painting when you can't visualize where it's going to end up.
You need no clear line of sight. Yeah
So the wall was purely and simply because I was like, well, where's this going? I still can't see how it's going to finish.
Blending is a really fascinating sort of micro subject you bring up there, Space Toy, in regards to walls and stuff, because that, like, blending is one of those ones that is pretty much for most people a wall, right? Like, unless you've got the patience of Albert, where you can micro glaze for a whole year on a piece. Or I think you said he did that, right, Trent? Like, some of his pieces take quite a long time to do.
Yeah, he's been working on that for like 6 months, I think.
Yeah. So unless you're just built for that, like, yeah, that's a very common space to feel walls. And something I like is that people have innovated ways around those walls in order to have fun, right? Like, this is not fun. I don't enjoy glazing things, you know, forever to try and get the ultra smooth blend. There's got to be another way.
All right.
Rocket with the drive-by.
Yeah. Hey, Rocket.
Hey.
What a legend. All right. I think, yeah, that's looking a lot cooler now. Let's just put a little bit of this gear into here.
Yeah, it's almost looking like a super intense sheen.
Cool. Front side. Yep, so a little bit of airbrushing of some green will make that come alive. That'll be cool. We'll paint his skin, we'll paint some other bits.
Are you going to go onto the inside of his other leg too, just slightly, like a darker version of that light?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Inside back? Yeah. Ooh, yep.
All right. Yeah, that's gonna
With
be
gas.
sick. All of a sudden, that angle's a little bit cooler, eh?
Absolutely.
All right, friends. Good session. This week, I'll continue my work. I'm going to add some. I started preparing my little tufts. There's going to be some small little tufts around and a few little bits of weeds.
From my wonderful friend at Prosecco's.
Now, this is the old school string one. I'll show everyone how I do that on my next stream.
Yeah, please do. I didn't know that. I don't know this one.
Oh, look, it's simple as this, mate. You just get the old
You just bring it out, or?
You just get the old jute twine. It comes like this. Right?
Yeah.
So you untwist the motherfucker. And you get two little jobbos. Like so. You separate one of these little jobbos into all of the little fine strands.
Oh.
And then you twist like this. And then give it some of these ones.
Yeah. A little bit of glue.
Yeah, a little bit of glue. And what I like about it is it's very, very natural and irregular looking, which is what you don't get out of the
Tufts.
out of the tufts. Yeah. So you combine these with tufts, and you get a really nice combo. So this.
Yeah, you're just drilling a hole in, right? And
yeah. So
in.
well,
yeah.
What I'm going to do here is airbrush these.
Yeah.
So these are really good for like desert coloured ones, but I want them to be green, right? So I'm gonna airbrush these dark green, maybe some light teal and stuff, and then you just pull them out like this. Snip this off, because that's all a bit stiffer once it's had paint on it. Snip that off, put a bit of glue on there, and then you can just pop it straight down.
Nice.
And that string costs $2 from Bunnings, and you get enough. You get enough to make probably 5 tables worth of fucking stuff.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to take that one straight to the bank, mate.
that's a winner, that one.
That's a winner.
Yeah. So, and then yeah, you can get different length ones, obviously, because you can vary the amount of twine that you cut. You can combine 2 of them side by side. Yeah, super glue. I use super glue is always my go-to because it's quick.
Yeah, with a bit of it, like a little bit.
A little bit of super glue and then accelerator, and you're done.
The zip kick that you like to use, the accelerator.
Little zipper, and you're away. And there we go, 4 little tufts in a matter of a few seconds. Ready for airbrushing. This is just a nice little block that comes from my block set that I spent $10 on from Kmart and got multiple plinths.
How much value have you got off these little blocks? Could be the part of the backbone holding up the
Well, mate,
show.
do you know how many of those blocks I've used on that plinth on the base for the vampires? There's a whole pile of blocks.
Probably 6 or 7.
So yeah, it's just building up the areas, mate. Like with some stability, it's good.
Yeah, and I'm assuming you just slather them in super glue, accelerate it, and bang them together. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Some people overthink those steps, right? Like, I have to pin everything and I got to do this or that. Like, no.
Because then you just go a little bit of the old knead it, and all of a sudden,
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, what are you looking at? Hey, do you want to say hello?
What a guy.
You're a good boy. You
How
sleepy,
like
buddy?
On the weekend, mate.
You sleepy? Oh, stop licking my ear. He's 2. You're 2, aren't you, buddy? Yes. Yes, Uncle Dad. I'm 2. I'm a big boy. He's not a big boy. He's a little boy. Oh, you like this? We'll go to bed, hey, buddy? We'll go to bed. Yeah. He's having a good time here. Just like, "Buh." Thanks, buddy.
Oh yeah, he's I was away with the fairies then. He's vibing it.
You're a good boy. All right. Let's go raid someone. Thanks, buddy. Nice cuddle.
Let's do it.
Let's raid. Who do we want to raid?
Is there some miniature painting streams and some Warhammer streams? Ciara Elvenblood I can see.
Oh yeah, she goes alright.
Yeah, Warhammer streams. Ciara. Honest Wargamer Rob's on, but he's usually just talking about.
Yeah, let's go raid Ciara. I think she's I've raided her before. Raid. She might be finishing up or just starting. I'm not sure. Anyway, friends, back on Sunday morning. Be very close to finishing.
Ben's not here to ask.
Thanks, Ben. Good chat tonight, Ben. All right, see you, friends.
Take care, guys.